On the east coast of Scotland, they have a word for that moody fog that envelops the land, bringing a mysterious air to what would otherwise be a fine day. They call it a haar. It lies across the great links of Fife, the likes of St Andrews, Muirfield and Carnoustie, like a blanket just waiting to be peeled back to reveal what lies beneath.
Coming back although you can get round the outside of it.
The dramatic dunes that make links golf so compelling.
But yeah, this is, to me, as dramatic as anything you get in Scotland or England, isn't it?
But we happen to be about as far from Scotland, geographically at least, as you can get. At the southern tip of the South Island of New Zealand, this is Oreti Sands, the world's southernmost links. In a place such as this, golf is revealed rather than created, delicately teased from the terrain. But the first key is to uncover the best routing. Our job would be to build 4 new holes, mainly in the dunes to the south, shave off the oddities and voila! From the mists of the Har would emerge a links of true greatness. But great care is needed to construct in this environment. Below the dune grasses and lupin lie the crumples and undulation that are the very essence of golfing intrigue. We needed to carefully remove the cloak of vegetation without destroying the very attributes we were determined to reveal. Our tenet is never to impose golf upon an environment. The course must fit seamlessly into the landscape. The human spirit, and certainly that of most Kiwis, is far more at home in a relatively unmodified surrounding. The spirit is raised by coexistence, not dominion. Over the next few minutes, we'll fly you through that journey of revelation.
You see, it's only 195 to the top of that mountain, but you know, how much can you cut off? I quite like the idea of you're never quite sure.
It was time to unveil the links to colleague, friend and newly crowned US Open champion Michael Campbell.
I reckon this is going to be a great hole. I mean, it's a par 4.5, isn't it, really? It's going to play like a par 5 a lot of the time. But yeah, I'd like to think we've nestled this in here and you know, it doesn't look like we've done anything really. It looks like it was, and you know, that's what it was like. So you could play 5 from here too.
Yeah, I was thinking. Oh, that's what this probably before.
Yeah.
Like this last
Yeah.
It was time for reminiscing. I first came here as a schoolboy, probably 30 years ago, and was immediately captivated by the place. Back then I had no comprehension of why. Perhaps it was some sort of intuitive understanding that wrapped in these very dunes was the DNA from which the game of golf evolved. Over that intervening time, I'd played and visited almost all of the world's great links, a number of them with Cambo.
Get rid of the trees here and all along here and this becomes all fairway and there's the green.
I'd always believed Oreti was capable of sitting at the same table as these wonderful links. Maybe not as grand or pretentious, but the embodiment of the real sport and conquest.
Basically, you're going to be able to hit it down over that, because that green disappears. You can go right of the tree, you can go up left of the tree, you can go over the tree, or you can go straight at the green.
What better way to open the course than with the Great Southern Golf Challenge? The course was ready, so it was time to fly in some of Australasia's greatest players to pit their games against the course. This group have between them won events the world over in Scotland, England, Europe, Japan and Australasia. How would they fare at Oreti? Opening day was upon us. Senior was first off at the new second.
Yeah, beautiful.
Amazing to think back what that looked like. Part of the skill of a designer is to visualise what raw land might look like in the future. Peter Fowler.
Yep.
Into the green, O'Malley. The inimitable Robert Hunter once said, "So golf goes on the links, those sacred bits of God's earth, where men have battled for generations, like the sailor or the mountaineer, with what nature had placed before them.
But this will keep you thinking.
The true lynx were moulded by divine hands. Lynxland, the fine grasses, the wind-made bunkers that defy imitation, the exquisite contours that refuse to be sculptured by hand. The terrain itself has an individuality all its own. In its uneven diversity, its tumbling irregularity, its unrivaled originality, Lynxland bears no resemblance to any other territory. The third may become the South's answer to Troon's famous postage stamp.
Yeah, it blows here a lot. You don't need, when was the last time you had fun with a 2-iron on your hand in a par 3? You know, anybody can make it hard through length.
Oreti has always had the bones of a wonderful lynx, but a few ordinary holes in the middle of the back nine, along with some eccentricities early on, have tended to undermine its potential. I've been privileged to play and compete on the raw and wild landscapes of Ballybunion and County Down, to sample the intrigue and charm of Portmarnock, Muirfield, St George's, Lytham and Troon, to marvel at the grandeur and majesty of Birkdale, Turnberry and Dornoch, to imbibe the history and soul of St Andrews. But there are also countless others, full of rugged charm and sporting quality. Western Gales, North Berwick, Formby, to name a few. The list goes on. Add to that list Oreti Sands. There are very few links where wetlands such as these border rugged dunes. The 17th already stands out as one of New Zealand's finest par 3s. At 18 required little attention from us. As the match drew to a close, the result was irrelevant. 4 of Australasia's finest golfers had brought more than just their golf games to the dunes south of Invercargill. They had provided the ever-modest locals with proof that their links had an authenticity to be revered.